Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our football betting series here on YouTube, Premier League edition. We had a really successful week, a perfect week last time out, as Manchester United managed to pick up a narrow win against Bournemouth. Fulham managed to come back from a goal down to draw against Crystal Palace, and West Ham Leeds saw over 2.5 goals. So across last weekend we managed to pick up our £38.60, but also in terms of the month of May, as we come into the final Premier League match week, we are sitting on a comfortable record of 7 wins, 1 push and 1 defeat for an overall 87.5% winning record, and we've made a profit of £53 on the dot, which is just over 2.5 units. I've got just 2 selections for the final Premier League episode, and the reason there's only 2 selections is because on the final day of the season, what we typically see is some more experimental shapes, some squad rotation, and the sort of proverbial handing young players a first-team debut, which could all influence the patterns of the games. And as people betting on the outcomes of these matches, it does make it quite tricky to know where we stand. So today's episode is only going to feature 2 games, which will actually have an impact on promotion, relegation, European football, and have some significance and some meaning. So we're going to be guaranteeing that we're going to see folks trying their best to win. And for us as punters, it makes it a more dependable, a slightly more predictable outcome. So that's it, 2 selections. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. We start things off with 17th placed Everton against 14th placed Bournemouth. And Everton left it late, really late, to rescue a draw against Wolverhampton in their last game. A 99th minute equaliser from Yerry Mina keeps Everton in the driving seat in determining who goes down in the relegation battle. Now, whilst their form is not incredibly good, with just 1 win in their last 10, form does cut both ways. They are also unbeaten in 3 of their last 4, so it depends on how you want to view it, really. The Toffees score an average of 0.9 goals per game and create 1.7 key chances per 90, defensively conceding 1.5 goals against and 8 clean sheets in 37 league matches. The away side Bournemouth were bested once again against Manchester United thanks to a Casemiro flick, going on to lose that game by 1-0. Bournemouth, they do seem to be on the beach, losing each of their last 3 games since they secured enough points to guarantee safety. Statistically this season, Bournemouth have scored 1 goal per game and created 1.4 key chances per 90. Defensively, they do allow 1.9 goals against with 8 clean sheets in 37 league matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, Bournemouth managed to run out 3-0 winners in November. Zooming out a little bit, Bournemouth have had Everton's number in recent years, winning each of the last 4 encounters. So we're looking at Bournemouth, right? Well, Bournemouth are done for this season. Everton really need the win, so I'm actually going to lean towards the Toffees. An additional factor to consider is depending on results elsewhere. Everton don't strictly need the win because they are currently 17th, and if Leicester and Leeds lose, it does mean that Everton will stay up regardless of the result. So all of this ties in together to really encourage me to lay Bournemouth on the road here. I believe that Everton will remain in the Premier League. Our second selection sees 18th place Leeds United playing host to 8th place Tottenham Hotspurs. And Leeds, despite taking the lead in their match against West Ham, could not hold on, and eventually the momentum switched in that fixture. They did go on to lose by 3-1 in London. This does mean that Leeds have no win in their last 8 matches, and across the season they've scored 1.3 goals per game and create 1.6 key chances per 90. Defensively unstable, 2.1 goals against and 5 clean sheets in their 37 Premier League matches. Spurs, on the other hand, are experts in bottling, losing their most recent game by 3-1 against Brentford. This is now just 1 win in the last 7 games, as they really are limping towards the finish of this season. Across the season, however, Spurs have managed to score 1.8 goals per game and create 2 key chances per 90, but defence is also unstable, 1.7 goals against despite 10 clean sheets in 37 league matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, Spurs managed to win their last match in dramatic fashion by 4-3. Have also won each of the last 3 encounters and 4 of the last 5 straight up against Leeds. Despite Spurs' poor run of form, they can still secure European football next season. We must consider the additional factor that will motivate them towards this goal, because if Manchester City win the Champions League in June, they will automatically qualify for next year's tournament as reigning champions, which then opens up another qualification spot for the teams below City. This could have an impact on Liverpool making the Champions League, but also on Spurs making either the UEFA Europa League or the UConn. Additionally, there's also the hope to send Harry Kane off in style. The England captain does need to leave Spurs, but this is maybe a separate issue. I think that everyone's going to be pulling in the same direction, not to relegate Leeds, but to ensure that Spurs have European football next season, regardless of the Harry Kane situation. I'm going to be taking Spurs to win on the road on the final game of the season. And that's it. Final game of the season, at least as far as the Premier League is concerned. I just wanted to have a quick chat and outline a brief plan and make a little announcement. I plan to upload 2 more episodes of the football betting series, the first of which will be at the end of May. It will be a monthly recap and a recap of the domestic season in its entirety, before a final video which will preview the Champions League final, Man City versus Inter Milan. And this will be the final video for this channel, at least for the time being. I say that not just because we're at the end of the domestic season and I'll be taking a break because of that, but I've also been offered a position working in the sports betting industry, and this channel has definitely contributed to that. This does mean, unfortunately, that I can no longer run the channel, as this is going to be viewed as a conflict of interest. But I would just like to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked the videos, and joined me through this journey on the 22-23 season. This platform and your support has been instrumental in me securing this new position in the industry in which I'm passionate about. I guess the only thing left to say for today's episode is have yourself a lovely day.